game here. Raid is quite commonly known as being one of those capture the flag maps where it actually ends 0-0 quite frequently.
Yeah, I mean, it's capture flag on this game is just massively down to counter capping, just because of the fact there's so many choke points you have to cut off, which means that teams find it really hard to get map control, which therefore means you don't want to push too far up because you don't know if there's somebody who's flanked around in some sort of dodgy route. So it means that people like Mad Cat will most likely sit really, really deep, and it's really hard for SMGs to even pull the flag, especially on this map, because it's one of those maps where teams are so scared to push up, people sit really defensively.
Yeah, well, Kurz and Team Infective had kicked off now on main stage. It's actually Tunny and I believe Ricey who's doing the casting there. If you guys want to check that out, of course, be sure to be following the EGL TV stream. We're on EGL COD. It'd be nice if you guys can stick with us, though. We don't want to be losing too many viewers from ourselves. I shouldn't be promoting the other stream, but what's actually nice about the organisation of this venue is not only can they see the scores on our screen because you know the main screen is facing them, but we can give you updates of Curse against Team Infected as they play as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's good that they've got two stages here. It's definitely a big feature of EGL, the fact that there's two main stages technically. And it gives a lot of, maybe the teams that like EQ have not really been on main stage before, you know. It gives them a bit of experience of being on the main stage. It's nothing like playing opposite the other team, it's completely different. So it's good to see that they've actually got two stages here.
Now, when sensor grenades were actually introduced into competitive play, I think everybody started using them. That seems to have really died down a lot. Yeah,
because, you know, sensor grenades, they are handy on Search and Destroy, because Search and Destroy is a game site where you need to know exactly where people are so you can rotate to a bomb site. But on game sites like CTF, EMPs, stun grenades, they are so powerful because if you can stun an opposition player who hasn't got tactical mash, it rules them out the game for 10 seconds. Whereas a sensor grenade just tells you where they are, but most of the time on CTF you know exactly where the team is. I mean, like, you look at the Cloud setup now, they know that maybe there could be one on their flag, and the rest of the team is probably pushing up to middle map. So it's not like sensor grenades are that important on CTF. Most of the time you know where people are. And EMPs can also be used as like a check. Like, because the radius is so big and they work through walls, people use them just to check areas. You see a lot of flag defenders using it just so they can check a building basically by throwing an EMP. So basically other secondary grenades are more important than sensor grenades on these kind of game types.
It's been a very slow start actually to this game between Cloud and EQ, and I'm actually bringing up this minimap just so you can see what's going on. Look how defensively Cloud are playing this.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is what you have to do if you're going to win, but at the same time, if you want to actually win, you need to be pushing up as well. But they're kind of really just making sure that nobody is pushing their flag, but they haven't got actually any control of the pool side, which could come back to haunt them if there's one of the EQ players actually pushing up that side. They've made the kills there. It's big players here, they're trying to push up the map. They've not really got much control of the map, and Sneaky with a big two-piece there, which is actually crucial because if the other team can, and there we go, there's a guy pushing the pool side, like I said, so he's just put the flag there, but luckily Danny has managed to spawn up and get the kill. But on another day, if he had a teammate helping him there, they could have got away with that.
They do need to be conscious of every possible flank, of course. Ainsey now just circulating around this statue area. He has spotted someone. It was a really hard shot to make, and maybe he shouldn't have challenged it so early on. But of course, these are high-pressure situations now. We aren't quite into the double elimination bracket yet, but of course, these teams want to secure the best seed possible and get the status of, you know, beating these top teams.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of people say to me that, you know, CTF is such a boring game type to watch and play, and I kind of do agree in some ways. I mean, CTF on 1 for 3 was a lot better just because the map's so simple. I think maybe something like having an extra hard point might be better. I'm not so sure what we could do with that. I mean, but at the end of the day, CTF is what it is. It's still a strong game type in my opinion, but, you know, teams play it really defensive now, and it doesn't make it the best watch in the world, and it's not amazing to play, especially as an SMG player when you get killed by people sitting corners. But as you can see right now, EQ being really aggressive here. There's two players pushed up the map, but they're both shut down, and that's going to allow Cloud to push up now, get a bit of map control, maybe kind of control the game a bit.
That was a really nice shot there from Mad Cat. Takes out Ainsey, and he's going to try and just secure this area. You tend to see a player just hanging around the statue. This is more of an anchor role that he'll be opting for, I'm assuming.
Yeah, basically he's trying to stop the SMG players trying to flank, but actually he's going for a little flank himself because it looks like one of the players is wise to it there, and he's going to have to drop back or maybe challenge him, no Mad Cat. But at the end of the day, when he's on that left-hand side, no SMGs are going to be, you know, getting through without them realising. So he's obviously in that area to try and make sure none of the EQ players are trying to flank around. But some big kills there by Josh. He's just got the SMG and the pistol, pistol and the AR. We don't usually see him using this kind of gun, so it's kind of strange. I mean, a lot of teams are now using 3 ARs, which I don't know if you've noticed that this weekend, but Because CTF is so slow paced now, a lot of people are using 3 ARs rather than the usual 2 SMGs, 2 ARs that we used to see in Modern Warfare 3.
And initially, when the actual competitive rule set was out, at least in the European scene, it was very M8 dominated with ARs. I've seen a lot of people using the AN94, and we're also seeing 1 or 2 introducing the Type 25 as well.
Yeah, I mean, since the update, Type 25 is a lot better now. It's practically almost 0 recoil, especially if you put a grip on it. So, I mean, they're the kind of guns, if you want to run and gun a bit more, then you're going to be using an AN and a Type 25 because they're fully automatic. So, I mean, as you can see right now, this is Mad Cat using the AN, so obviously this means that he's going to be trying to run about a bit more, probably. It's not the best, it's not as good as an M8 at long range, but if you're running and gunning, it's definitely a very good option.
Off the back of a 2-kill streak, he really needed to be making that kill, and now we are seeing a little bit of trouble for Cloud. Let's switch over to one of the Cloud players and see if they can stop this capture. Oh, Shane actually tries to go for a pull himself, and EQ almost running it home.
Oh my god, that is an absolutely huge play by Zanity there. 3 players lined up for him with the pistol. I cannot describe to you how big a player that is.
Wow.
Because that has pretty much saved them the map.
Zanity went absolutely huge at the end. Unfortunately, we weren't there to witness it, but we did see the kill feed completely dominated by the B23R, and here we go. We're going to see it all here now. He gets one of them there. He actually gets gets all of them.
Did he get a 4-piece there?
Quite possibly.
He got one at the overlook, didn't he?
It was either a 3 or 4, but he got the flag
Crazy
return.
play.
He was actually on a counter cap himself, and that could have gone in if there was a little bit more time, but Zanity there going massive for Cloud.
Yeah, absolutely huge play, and CTF is kind of that game type where you need to make big plays, crutch players, and Zanity coming up big there. I mean, we kind of talked about it as well. It's quite funny that we're talking about the AN94 and saying how like long range is not as good, and Mad Cat kind of missed that shot on the pool side. If he had an M8, he could have shut that down, and you know, it kind of shows that people don't realise that the classes and guns you choose are very, very important. So, you know, a lot of players overlook the fact that the class you choose is important to the way your team plays.
And I'm trying to refrain from mentioning him too much, but of course I speak to my brother Momo about this and what players are using, and he told me that the AN94 tends to be used on LAN more than at LAN because the M8 is just a lot better at LAN. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, I mean, the AN is, this game on LAN, you know, it's not the best game I've played on LAN. It does have its inconsistencies. You know, sometimes some guns do perform better than others. It's about which gun's most consistent. That's what players usually look for, and the AN seems pretty inconsistent on LAN. Sometimes it drops somebody 1 bullet, and then sometimes it's 4 bullets. So, you know, it's kind of strange, really. I mean, hopefully Treyarch in future can kind of look at their game on LAN and try and improve it. You know, because there is definitely some issues with this game on LAN.
They have certainly done wonders for the scene so far.
Yeah.
Huge amount of support coming from Treyarch. You know,
yeah, it is amazing to see. There's no doubt about it. Like, when we started out playing, we never would have thought that these kind of companies would help our scene out. And you know, as much as the scene kind of, you know, always nag at them, and you know, they do get people always complaining about things, but you know, everybody really does appreciate the support they're putting in, because they've definitely changed the way that players, you know, are playing, especially this $1 million tournament coming up next week. Players, you know, a few years ago would never have dreamt of these kind of opportunities. So.
And there was a very big cheer from the crowd there as Rob picked up a massive kill. He actually is refraining this flag, of course. The crowd that are watching this side stage see exactly what you're seeing, what we're flicking over back into. And as he slowly makes his way through this water, dragging his heels, it is going to be Mad Cat who stops that run. Yeah,
very big kill there, actually. And it looks like they're going to go for a pull of the run.
Yes,
this could be a big counter cap here. Shane going straight for the middle of the map, picks up a big kill. They probably know that they spawned over that side yet. You can see Shane trying to check that, but there could easily be somebody at their flag, and it looks like he's going to try and run this in. Is there somebody through? Yeah, he's going to wait for his teammates to push first. Very wise play here by Shane, just making sure that nobody from the EQ team has managed to sneak through, and he's going to have a nice clean cap there.
And there we go. Relatively uncontested. I mean, there was one guy in the middle of the map that could have done something but was facing the complete opposite direction. And it's almost a little bit of a shame here because EQ have played so well up until this point, and you could argue with a stronger side, but it is just that one counter cap that can make all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of similar how it happened when we played Cloud. You know, we felt like we dominated the respawn game types, and you know, you can end up losing it. We spoke to Mad Cat after, and he said he couldn't believe he beat us, and it just happens. You know, you've got to be really cautious because counter caps can easily happen on this game, and you know, you might feel like you don't deserve the win, but at the end of the day, the scoreline is all that matters, and if you lose, you lose. It's that simple.
Well, Zanity trying to challenge with that B23R, which he is having a lot of success with, somehow doesn't make the kill, and it is going to be EQ pulling this flag. Sneaky just almost sneaks around the corner. Mad Cat somehow manages to make that kill. Is Rob's going to be able to collect that?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to get this away, because when we looked at the minimap there, nobody from Cloud has really pushed that far up, but yeah, it looks like EQ are going to get this flag in with 1 minute 50 on the clock. There's still a lot of time in this game, a lot of time. It only takes about 15 to 20 seconds to get a flag straight through the middle. So there's still a lot of time on this clock. We could see a drastic change in the scoreline from now.
Yeah, so 1-1. EQ have done well to actually bring this back, and you can see Rob's playing this a little bit slow. They're conscious that, of course, they have been one flag down. They don't want to lose this lead as Shane picks up a nice two-piece as he advances through the right-hand side of the map. He's in a really good position here, looking over that spawning area.
It's like he's just seen Rob's there, and Rob's just playing that slow because he's at one off a Hellstorm, actually, so he'll be looking to try and get a kill. And it looks like he's going to be a couple of kills, maybe one kill off. Yeah, there we go, gets both his airstrikes. This is huge for them. Once they get map control, he'll be looking to use them, trying to get the kills in their base. And that is a huge play. He was just trying to stay alive there, making sure he gets them. And, you know, people kind of saying with score streaks, will people just play for them all game? But I think the only time people do play for them is when they realise they're only one kill off them. That's the only time really people do.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you could start seeing people sitting right back in the corner of the map just getting kills if they wanted to score streaks. And of course, that's not how you're going to win a capture the flag. But a lightning strike and a hellstorm is invaluable, not only for any game type on any map, but particularly capture the flag rate.
Yeah, it's completely changed the way it's played, actually, because you can find yourself just from getting a full setup, getting a flag out, then all dying to a lightning strike and then being countercapped. It's happened to me online a lot of times. It happened to a lot of players. So it's really changed the way it's played. But there's 30 seconds on the clock. It looks like it's a bit of a stalemate right now. So he might save these score streaks for overtime, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really see anyone pulling the flag. We'll see if anything's going on with the cloud cam. We'll see what's going on with Josh, actually. We haven't given too much coverage so far this particular game. Just having a quick look at the scoreboard there, there's not really that much in it. There's no particular standout play. I mean, particularly with the Cloud, the top three are all on 17 or 18 deaths or kills. Yeah,
the only standout thing is one of the EQ players getting free returns, I believe. Actually, it was Zanity. Zanity with free returns, so that's the only standout player there. So that obviously shows that EQ maybe got more pulls and maybe had more chances to pull the flag away, but Zanity coming up clutch a lot of times like we saw on the end of the first half.
So let's just recap what we've seen so far in this best of 5 series. The final game actually for Pool B, it was a 4-point difference. Cloud winning 231 to 227 on Hardpoint Slums. Following that, there was a 6-5 victory on Cargo Search and Destroy. Literally couldn't be any closer. And now on Capture the Flag, we are seeing it go into overtime. These two teams are inseparable.
Yeah, this is actually a really close game. Every single map, like you say, going right down to the wire. So it just shows how close these two teams are. And like I said, I mean, I pretty much thought that this would be a really close game because Hardpoint we pretty comfortably won against both teams, and then S&D they beat us quite comfortably. So, you know, these two teams kind of cancelling each other out in a way, like in terms of skill. But like we say here, Robs with these score streaks could be the difference. There's no doubt about that. He could use them either to kind of stop a flag pull by Cloud, or he could use them like in the dying stages of the map where maybe they want to try and get a flag out themselves.
And whilst it was a bit of a clean sweep for you guys against DQ, let's not forget they actually managed to take 2 maps off Rico Impact.
Yeah.
They're putting up a good fight against Cloud, 2 real top teams at this event. And it would be a little bit of a shame if they were to go 0-3 in this pool because they've been playing so well, and you know they won't get much credit for the efforts that they've made.
Yeah, I mean the score lines do not show how good EQ have been playing. You know, the scoreboard against us 3-1. I mean, it might look like we dominated, and I guess in Hardpoint we did, but in the other game types they're definitely a strong team, and they're proving that right now. They're definitely showing that they are able to hang with Cloud right now as well, because they only lost 4 points on the Hardpoint, didn't they? So, yeah. You know, they're definitely showing that they belong where they are. A lot of people kind of question why they got the top 8 seed, but they're definitely showing they're a strong team right now.
Very sneaky from Shane there to actually get that return, and a big return at that. There wasn't really anyone else contesting apart from Shane. Ainsey is going in with the assault rifle, with the MA, and I think he's just holding back for a bit of support of his teammates. Obviously poised at that spawn location. Yeah,
very smart player there, but actually Shane getting up 2 kills at a really vital time, because what he was doing there is he was waiting for his teammates to get some kills. Free piece there, somehow managing to pull off a free piece, and he's got it away. You can hear him shouting a bit of trash there in the background. But yeah, he's managed to get this away down the pool side. He's probably waiting for his teammates because, as you can see right now, his teammates aren't really near him, so he's not sure if there's an EQ player nearby. He's going to pull it towards the middle way, knows his teammates might be able to help him. Zanity picking up a big kill. Ainsey big kill as well. Big 2-piece right there. That is a big 2-piece, because that 2-piece right there stopped them getting the return. And that would have been an early flag cap. 2 minutes is a very early flag cap on this map.
Yeah, absolutely massive from Ainsey there, but he does go down, as does the flag, and there's nobody else to actually pick that up. It is going to be a capture for Cloud. Real good start for them now, and the pressure is on for EQ.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to use his lightning strike for some reason there, and as you can see on this screen right now, it's just the guy stood still, but I mean, I'm not sure why he tried to use that there. It's a bit of a weird position to try and use your lightning strikes, really. You should probably use it when you know you've got teammates around you. supporting you before you actually do something like that.
Well, 2 minutes 12 is the time on the clock. I know that we've been covering a lot of EQ this game, but with the pressure being on them, it's these guys that are going to be the aggressors. They're going to be making these big pushes in attacks, while Cloud will be playing very conservatively. So I want to see what they're going to do. They're going to have to be taking some risks, essentially, here.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 minutes on the clock, but with these lightning strikes, they have definitely got a strong chance, and I'm pretty sure Cloud will not know about them. So, you know, there's 2 down now for Cloud, so maybe this is a time where he wants to push up a bit and maybe use them. I'm surprised he's not used one of them yet. I mean, a Hellstorm and a Lightning Strike together, you know, maybe spread them out a bit, try and use a Hellstorm to get a couple of kills, then maybe see if he wants to use a Lightning Strike. But as Lightning Strike being called in, maybe one of his teammates had one as well. Ooh. And it looks like he's going to call his as well, but the thing is he's forcing the spawn over to the basketball side, which is exactly what Cloud will want. But actually somebody just spawned right in front of him and kept that kill. That is a very strange thing. You don't see that very often in CTF.
No, and I'm actually just going to leave this map up open for a brief, well, for a few moments, just to see what Cloud are doing here. Sometimes you will see teams that did win the first half of this overtime situation pushing for the capture again, which would of course secure them the win. But Cloud are just holding fast. I mean, who is this player here? Just pretty much on the flag. I'm going to go with Shane because he's on 5 kills, and that is why he's holding back so much. Look how close he is to that final score streak.
And we're not sure if it's actually really close to an AGR or not. His AGR is, it looks like he's 1 kill off, but it could be that he's coming for another round of his Hellstorms. But he actually got an AGR, but the thing with an AGR is it's 1 EMP and it's a goner. So, you know, that's the thing with that. It could either be the best thing in the world or... And you can hear Shane shouting a bit of trash right now. He obviously loves a bit of AGR, so... I don't know if he'll take control of it because it actually runs around by itself, you see. He could just go over in the corner of the map and not really do anything, or he could go into the middle of the map. You don't really know what it's going to do, but...
Well, he's parked it right on top of the flag. If nothing more, it's at least going to reveal the other enemy's location. It has picked up a kill against AMZ. Time is ticking away, and with just over 20 seconds left, things are looking really nice for Cloud right about now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take this map. 20 seconds on the clock and a lot of score streaks in hand. Shane picking up a big 2-piece right there.
He's on 11. He's on an 11 kill streak. Madcat is on an 8. This has been a fantastic half for Cloud, albeit slightly easier because, of course, all they've had to do is defend. But Shane is going to finish off on a 12 kill streak now. Not even going to try and run that flag. No need to. He's going to take the win, and it's going to be a victory for Cloud.
Yep, absolutely huge plays by Cloud to win that game type. That means that they only need 1 map to win right now, and that is a good position to be in because if they were 2-1 down, it only takes 1 little mistake on an S&D or a hard point, and they could lose. So, you know, that is a big game type. Like we said, every game type right now has been really, really close. So EQ definitely putting up a strong fight, and they're not out of this yet. No way about it. There
is some fierce competition at this event, and I think it's fair to say the skill gap between the top teams is very, very small. In an essence, where things it could go anyway. It's so hard to actually predict maybe the top 3 teams here. There's just a lot. There's a lot of talent, really.
Yeah, I think tomorrow, and you know, I think tomorrow, obviously Sunday, is when the big teams will face off because we'll be later in the bracket. But also because this is group stage, some teams like we actually saved some of our strats against Nemesis, but obviously they don't know that. But you know, some teams won't probably want to show all cards at hand, you know, in the group stage because essentially all you're playing for is a seed. Yeah. So you know, teams will be putting 100% in, but at the same time tomorrow. And obviously later today, teams will be playing in the winner bracket where any mistakes are going to be so costly. So, you know, teams maybe, obviously this is a close match and both teams putting 100% in, but we could see different teams coming out on top tomorrow. I think maybe Prophecy might come through. Some people have been suggesting that maybe they've been trying to throw the games, but I don't believe that because they've come bottom of their group, so they're going to be playing Freako Impact. So I don't believe that for a second, but... you know, like I said, I think we could see a lot of teams that maybe didn't do too well in the groups, maybe shining in the knockout stages. Yeah, well, the only thing that's certain in Pool B anyway is that Freako Impact are going to be going in seeded 5th into this tournament. They are the victors that won all 3 games, but the 6th, 7th and 8th place pretty much falls upon these next few games that are going to be taking place. Yeah, so if Cloud take the win, then that leaves my team in the 7th seed spot, so we'll end up playing the 2nd seed in Group A, which I think goes down depending on... I don't know if Curse, what Curse, is their group done already? Or? Curse have finished. Well, Curse actually won. It's quite funny because Curse are 1-2-1, right. TCM 1-2-1, and I believe that Horizon 1-2-1. So they've won the group. So, yeah, so there's actually 3 teams that are 2-1 in Pool A, but to my knowledge, it's either TCM or Curse that are first. I'm not quite sure. I'll get a bit of clarity on that because, of course, it does fall down to the maps. And, you know, whilst we're at this event, it's quite difficult to keep track of it all. It will all be on Deserto.net if you guys want to check it out, though. I know that Callum Define has been updating all of these scores, so be sure to check out the threads on there and, you know, see what the bracket's going to look like. Yeah, I mean, like we said before, the Prophecy, a lot of people are surprised by their performance this weekend. But, you know, they're the kind of team where if they're on a really good day, they can beat anybody, you know. That's what a lot of people will think. So we can't rule them out, you know. Curse looking really strong, TCM looking really strong as well. But for me, you know, it's going to be Freako Impact to dominate the event if I had to call it, because when we played them, they were so disciplined, so organised. They're definitely the favourites for this tournament.
Now, our view of the main stage has become a little bit obstructed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And this is because a huge crowd has just gathered a particular station. Now, I'm trying to tip my head over and see what's taking place here. It is Freako Impact. I'm trying to see who they're playing.
I believe they're playing their first round in the winner bracket, and they're actually playing Yemen, and it's 110 points to 100 points. So this is definitely a really close hard point.
Yeah.
They look a bit rattled, don't they?
They do, and this is quite surprising because whilst I've not got a complete view on who they are actually playing against, it's certainly going to be one of the lower seeded teams.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they're going into this tournament now with 5th seed. So, of course, they're going to be playing a little bit of an easier opponent to begin with. But they're not finding it easy. We'll try and keep you guys updated with that, as well as the main stage scores if you're sticking with me and Sowers here on the side stage. Team Infected are actually 1-0 up against Curse. So very, very interesting. A lot of surprises actually here. But anyway, let's get straight into this game now.